Welcome to Imperfect TV, where we embrace the messy, the real, and the beautifully unfinished. I'm Gemma Blythe, and this is your Monday morning guided journaling session, your space to breathe, reset, and begin the week with intention. Mondays can feel overwhelming, but they also hold a quiet power, a fresh start, a chance to realign with what truly matters. So, before the emails, the to-do lists, and the noise of the day take over, let's pause together. Take a deep breath in and out. Let's start this morning by checking in with ourselves. You don't have to get it perfect. Just honest. Let your thoughts flow without judgment. This is your time, your space, your moment to be fully present with yourself. So grab your journal, settle in, and let's write. I'll be here with you, guiding you along the way. Because growth isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, even on the messy Mondays. Let's begin. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning journaling session. Today is going to be such an important one for you, so make sure that you've grabbed those journals and your pens and you're ready to embrace this recovery journaling session just for you. So today we're going to be talking about reclaiming your mind and what that can look like. So this is going to involve talking about flashbacks, memories, coping mechanisms, those all-important grounding strategies. So some of the things you'll know, I've no doubt. Some of the things that you'll be using, I've no doubt. Feel free as this goes to comment in the comments box anything that you may be struggling with today, and I will do my very best to help along the way. So I have the usual 4 journaling prompts for you this morning, all centered around reclaiming your mind after trauma. So when we talk about trauma, it can mean many different things. It can mean grief, it can mean childhood struggles, it can mean abusive relationships, many things like that. So let's go. So first thing that I want to bring to your attention is that trauma can occur and have many impacts on day-to-day lives. Whether that's stopping you in your tracks when you get a flashback or making you double track when you get overwhelmed by a memory. So how do we cope with that? How do we bring our minds back from that? There are many different ways, and some of which we will be covering this morning in today's journaling. But whilst I was helping other trauma survivors and supporting them, I noticed that there was a common pattern. Not many people out of those trauma survivors felt able to ask for help. So with that in mind, I wanted just to remind you this morning that Imperfect TV is your safe space. You can message in the comments, I will reply, or you can send me a contact form on my website at www.gemmablythe.com, and I will get to you, I promise, because there's so many people out there that are struggling at the moment. So I hope that this is going to add a little bit of light into your day, as we are going to be doing this together. There is no shame here, no guilt, just you and your page. So I'm going to play you this little animation for you just to take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, just to center yourself this morning and get yourself settled in. And of course, you can take this time to get your favorite cup of tea as well. So head on over. I will put this up on the screen. And here we go. Few deep breaths just to center yourself and get ready this morning. Okay, so I hope you're feeling a little bit better after that and more settled in on this beautifully sunny Monday morning. It is here. It makes such a change when the weather is sunny. It alters your whole mental health and psyche. It's so good. So here we go with the first prompt. So it's, what physical or emotional reactions do you experience during intrusive memories or flashbacks? So let's just talk about that. So this covers the emotional and physical impact that trauma can have. So with this one, you need to focus more on the sensations that arise either during a flashback or a memory, and how you feel when those arise. Because the key to recovery is largely dealing with our emotions. But what this prompt gets you to do is it gets you to focus solely on the emotions that arise during a flashback or a memory. And then it gets you to think about the physical impact. So, does it stop you in your tracks? Or does it make you do a double take when you may have experienced a memory? So this one, I just want you to take a little bit of time over, just to see if you can get to the root of it. If you feel able, maybe comment your answer, because this is so important to be able to grasp and start to reclaim your mind after the trauma, which is 100% possible, by the way. And everybody here is worthy of that. So I'm going to play the birdies for you again while you do that. And just take a little bit of time, like I said, and try and understand why you feel like that during a flashback or a memory. Then we'll come back and I'll share some more reflections for you to take notes on. So, how did you get on? One of the most common things that people can experience when they experience a flashback is feeling like they are back in the moment, and some of the original sensations come back in their body. So, what I mean by that is you may feel your heart start to race, you may feel numb, you may feel shame for experiencing that memory or flashback again. You may also feel as though you're trapped to some extent by the same fear, pain, anger. So, whatever it is, write it down, acknowledge it, because self validation is the first start. Nobody else can tell you, oh, that didn't affect you that way. This didn't affect you that way. People might try, but at the end of the day, they weren't there. They don't know how it impacted you. You do. So whenever you have a little bit of doubt in your mind, just know that nobody else can take away your experiences, even though they may try to. I know I've experienced that. But soak in what you can. Soak in your emotions, write them down, acknowledge them, and then look forward to recovering from them. So, again, with that, your body may experience tension. You may be feeling all hot and clammy. Those are normal. Those are normal flight or fight responses, which is exactly the way our body goes when we experience flashbacks or reoccurring memories again. That one was quite a tough one. Tough one to start off with this morning, but it sets the ground, it sets the foundations for the rest of this morning. And the more you acknowledge your thoughts, feelings, emotions around trauma, the more you can start to reclaim your mind and your mental health. So that brings us nicely on to the second prompt, which I am just about to put up on this screen. So, what coping strategies or techniques have you found helpful in grounding yourself during a flashback or intrusive memory? I'll just read that again. So, what coping strategies or techniques have you found helpful in grounding yourself during a flashback or intrusive memory? This one can be interesting because different things work for different people. Let me just reiterate, different things work for different people. A lot of people profess to know what works best for trauma survivors. A lot of people say that getting up at 5 a.m. works for most people. It doesn't. Nothing works for most people. I can give you tools, techniques, things like that, but not everybody is going to find the same tools and techniques useful. This is about creating safety within your own body and within your own mind again. So, because it's safety in your own body and your own mind, you are the only one that can turn around and say to a life coach or a therapist and say, hey, that was good. That works. I want to try more of that. Or, no, that doesn't work. Is there something else I could try? So the more that you feel able to do that with people, the better, because that's how you get more out of finding coping mechanisms that work and out of finding those right coping strategies for you. So during this, I want you to think about what gives you a sense of safety after either experiencing a flashback or a memory. And then we'll come together and I'll share some more points and reflections on that for you. Okay. Just under another 2 minutes, guys. Okay. Okay, so what did you come up with? Again, if you feel able, please share in the comments because comments really do help other people remember that they're not alone in any of this. So, what coping strategies or techniques have you found helpful in grounding yourself during a flashback or intrusive memory? I'd be inquisitive to know what you found useful because there are many. Like, the list is as long as my arm. But remember, not everything works for every person. One person can't say to another, oh, this worked for me, therefore it must work for you. It doesn't work like that. So, one of the methods I like to use, and I've recommended in the past, is carrying something in your pocket when you are out that you can hold on to. This could be anything. It could be a crystal, it could be a rock, it could even be a plush key ring that you can squeeze. So that's one way of grounding yourself. It's something to take your senses away from what you've just experienced and that can remind you that you are okay and that you are safe. Another coping mechanism that I've used and I also like to recommend is deep breathing. And that's why we do it on a Monday morning, because it can center yourself, it can help you reset, and it can help ground you. And again, help you to realize that you are safe in this moment and that you are completely in control. Another way could be meditation, yoga, going for a walk, noticing different things around you, noticing even the small things around you. Anything just to bring you back and help you to realize that you are safe and that you are okay. Because living in that flight or fight response is not good. It's challenging and it's hard. So the next one we're going to move on to is, let me just put it up on the screen. Here we go. When you have an intrusive memory or flashbacks, what are the thoughts you experience afterwards and how do you process them? So this could be a range of emotions, but the main thing to concentrate on is how you handle your feelings once the flashback has passed. So, what thoughts come up after the flashback or memory? Are they directed at you? Or are they directed at the person who caused you harm? And what are they? Can you name them? So that's the thought path that I would like you to go down in these next minutes or so. But again, take your time, breathe, know that this is your safe space, and just let your mind wander on the page. Okay. Okay. So how did you find that? It can be challenging to think about our thoughts in that way. It can be tough to think about our thoughts in a different way. But when we start to acknowledge and know that that's the way that we feel, that's when things can start to change for the better. So that's why it's important to consider the thoughts that come up after the flashback or memory, because it can make you question your sanity, especially when it's a flashback that overwhelms you and makes you feel like you're back in that situation, because nobody wants to think of themselves back where they were when they first got hurt or harmed in some way. But then it's normal to experience the shame as well and guilt that can bring, because it's the thing of, oh, I'm not back there anymore. Why should I still be experiencing this? I was for so long. I didn't know what it was to begin with. I thought that I was suffering with something really, really bad. But that's where our minds go to as soon as something goes wrong. That's why we find things more challenging and hard. So, to some extent, you need to take stock of your emotions when things like that come up, because it helps you to mentally process. And how do you process? Do you write things down? Do you think about what's happened? Is there something that you do to tackle the self-blame afterwards? There's things that you could do, like affirmations and things like that. So say, I am, and then an adjective after that. But make sure it's positive towards you. Make sure it's one that you relate to. Because as soon as it's an adjective that you relate to, things will change. And keep a list by your bed or somewhere that you can see them. On your phone, maybe on your lock screen. That could be something that you could do. Then this brings us nicely on to our fourth and final journaling prompt this morning, which focuses more on our support network and what that does for us, or as I like to call it, the support circle. So I'm just going to put this up on the screen, not that one. Technology is fabulous when it works. So here we go. What kind of support, if any, do you need when experiencing intrusive memories or flashbacks, and how can you ask for it? So this focuses on not only you, but your nearest and dearest, or as I like to say, your support circle. Networks remind me of webs and cables and things like that. Bear with me, I was in computer science for 7 years. I didn't enjoy it. So things are circles to me now. So what kind of support, if any, do you need when experiencing intrusive memories or flashbacks? And how can you ask for it? For this, you need to realize who you can open up to and who you can trust. I'm sure we've all been in that position where we thought we could trust somebody and then it turned out we couldn't, and that we trusted too soon. With this, I want you to think about the characteristics of the people that you would quite happily open up to. And not only that, but how you would communicate to them that you needed that help and that reassurance in those times, because it can be really tough. It is really tough to deal with these things. But you're not alone in this. So take a few moments now to journal, let your mind wander, be free on the page. Okay, so how did you get on with this one? Did you notice any characteristics of people that you've got around you that you open up to? Or did you notice that you don't open up in a way that's right for you because of maybe the shame and the guilt? because that's normal. It's normal to feel isolated when you're going through something that you don't feel like anybody else is. But it's having the right people around you and recognizing the support that you need from the people around you that can really make a difference to you. So you may feel like you need to be around a trusted person. You may feel like you need to be in a certain environment. If you feel wobbly one morning when you get up and as though you're struggling with the numbness or a different feeling, you might want just to stay in with a cup of tea or coffee and a movie. It's recognizing the support that you need, which can be life-changing. And as well, you cannot underestimate the power that therapy can have. I've known people in the coaching world, in the survivors network, that have worked with a life coach and a therapist to get what they truly needed from their recovery, to get life lessons from their recovery. We study patterns, and a lot of it is based around patterns and how different patterns, maybe if not around us, but in our support circle, can impact us in different ways, can impact each other in different ways. Some people as well like solitude when dealing with coming out of a flashback or a memory, just so that they're on their own to process. And that's okay too, just so long as you reach out to somebody not long afterwards, because you cannot put a price on support and love and kindness between everybody. And it is out there. Sometimes you just have to search through the darkness a little bit to find the light. But it's there. And you can reach out. You can send somebody a text or a call or a message or an email. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to your family, friends, work colleagues. They're all there to support you, to make you feel cherished and worthy of recovery, because you are. Okay, so this is the last one for this morning. So, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. And I will let you go off and do some more journaling on this one. Use this moment to breathe as well, to finish off. We'll come back together in a moment. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed that last little bit of time that I let you have on this one and your breathing. Typical Imperfect TV, you never quite know what's going to happen. But yeah, I hope this has been really beneficial for you and that you take these answers away to the prompts and you use them to reflect and challenge your own thoughts and your thought patterns. And I hope that they've helped you to reclaim your mind and get some more clarity this morning. So again, thank you for joining me. Please remember that recovery is not linear. It's not about being perfect. Sometimes it's all about embracing the imperfections along the way, which is exactly what we do here on Imperfect TV. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next Monday morning. Bye.